All right, reacting to news that broke last night, Nebraska running back Emmett Johnson is planning to enter the transfer portal when it opens on December 9th. Nebraska is not technically out of it in the sense that, they could always get him back from the portal. He is not technically in the portal, but he's declared his intentions to enter. And this is a big loss. We've seen a couple major losses on the defensive side of the ball. This feels like the first big loss offensively. Besides Malachi Coleman, this is the first real big loss of a guy that contributed at Nebraska, and a guy that was expected to continue to contribute, and especially in Dana Holgorsen's offense because he had success once Dana took over. Steve, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, so Emmett Johnson, he was second on team in rushing yards with 523. He was averaging over 5 yards a carry. He rushed for a touchdown. But like you said, Tim, I think he was really kind of growing into himself and really under EJ Barthel, the running backs coach, developing in Lincoln and just kind of getting better as both a ball carrier and a pass catcher out of the backfield because Tim, he caught 35 passes for 262 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he looked really good, and I think all the Husker fans who were watching those final three games after Dana Holgorsen took over the keys of the Corvette and was calling the plays for the offense. I think that he really enjoyed having Emmett out there, and Emmett was like just getting better before our eyes. He was like elite at breaking tackles and making dudes miss on the field. I mean, he was really coming into his own as a football player. So and that was in his third year. He's coming off his third year, and it's his best year. So I think a lot of programs around the country are gonna, watch his tape and be impressed by it, and think that, what I'm trying to say is I think Emmett Johnson is going to be wanted in the transfer portal. So there's going to be some competition. So we'll see what comes of it. But yeah, I think this is a tough blow because if you look at the the running back room right now as it stands, the Huskers are set to lose Gabe Ervin Jr., Emmett Johnson, and then Rahmir Johnson, who we haven't heard anything yet right now. So he'll be available in the bowl game, but he's not going to be around next season. So those are three guys in Ervin, Emmett Johnson, and Rahmir Johnson, who as of right now won't be around next year. Who is going to be around next year? It's going to be Quinten Ives, Dante Dowdell, Mekhi Nelson, who we could talk about a little bit later, and then the two true freshmen from the 2025 class in Jamarian Parker, who a lot of people are high on, including us, and Connor Booth, who, had one of the best high school seasons of anybody in the country over there at Bishop Newman High School in Wahoo. So yeah, I mean it's a loss. Emmett Johnson is really coming into his own as a college football player in my mind.
Yeah, most certainly. It felt like Nebraska had started to find something. It felt like he was building on the right time, and it was something where you can build on this performance in the bowl game, move forward, fully get the offense implemented. It felt like Dana Holgorsen was excited to keep him around,
Mhm.
and use him. That's just like it felt like a Dana Holgorsen type back. This makes running back all the more important to address in the transfer portal, in my opinion. I think Nebraska's going to have to go find a guy that can contribute pretty early on. But this also opens up some opportunities for guys on the roster. You mentioned the freshmen, Jamarian Parker and Connor Booth. I think Booth's got a quicker path to the field and people realize. Same with Parker. Parker's just got to put on some weight, but there's some encouraging things. EJ Bartel said on the signing day show that he's closer to
Mhm.
200 pounds, which you wouldn't really believe when you look at him, but apparently he's getting to that point. And if he can get to that point where he's 200 plus pounds, I think Nebraska, he has a chance to contribute early as well. Of the guys on the roster, though, specifically talking about the bowl game and moving forward, I'd keep an eye on
Sure.
Mekhi Nelson. I think that's
Yeah.
a guy that, really fits what Nebraska likes to do, has had a full season to kind of get his feet under him at the college level. Good size, good speed, good balance of everything, runs the way you want, plays with the chip on his shoulder. Where do you see, kind of looking at this room moving forward, who are outside of kind of the guys we mentioned? Is there anyone else in that room you're particularly intrigued by?
I've always been intrigued by Quinten Ives just because of his body out there. So he just doesn't look like a running back. He's 6'3", he's over 200 pounds. He looks very, very, very athletic and really good off the bus, but we just haven't seen a lot of him out there. And he's been stuck behind some older veteran players, which is okay. It's what you do when you're a young kid learning to do this college football thing for the first time. But I'm always kind of wondered about Quinten Ives. Now, sometimes it didn't look. At times I thought he might have been a transfer portal candidate, and there's still time for that to happen. So we'll see what comes of it. But Quinten Ives, I think would be one if I'm not allowed to pick Jamarian Parker, because Jamarian Parker, I just wrote about him for a story on Inside Nebraska that people should check out. But I'm really high on Jamarian Parker. But if I can't go Parker or Connor Booth, I think Quinten Ives has always kind of intrigued me just because of how big he is and how fast he could be, and I think he has a lot of pass catching ability out in the backfield as well. He's just raw, young, and needs game reps, and he hasn't had those yet.
For sure, yeah. I like the tape coming out of high school. Obviously, like
Yeah.
played some receiver, played some running back, and then you watch him run. He's very much a straight line speed guy.
Hmm.
Kind of picks up. He doesn't take a second to get up to top speed. He's pretty much top speed from the rip, and doesn't really have a second gear. But that top speed's tough to catch.
Hmm.
Runs high. I mean, I'm interested to see kind of
Yeah,
how
he's
he
tall.
continues to develop.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's just big, and so I'm interested to see how he continues to develop. There's also a chance, that we could see some movement in this room still, in and out.
Yeah.
And like we mentioned with Johnson, just because he is intending to enter the portal and could enter the portal, there's no telling whether Nebraska can bring him back at this point. Nebraska's going to be aggressive with some of these guys. They are losing to try and keep them around. But as Matt Rule himself said, they're not really going to chase anyone in the transfer portal.
Yep, absolutely. And I totally agree that running back right now has become, a need right now in the transfer portal. So Matt Rule has said it many times. EJ Barthel has said it many times. When you're a team in the Big Ten, you need multiple backs. You just can't get by. You just can't skate by with one guy. You need multiple backs because it's a Big Ten season. It's a marathon. These guys hit a lot. It's just really tough running the football in the Big Ten because these defenses are no joke. So you need multiple guys to be able to last the season, and have quality guys carrying the ball. So I think running back right now just became a really big portal need.
For sure. Yeah, that'll do it for us here at Inside Nebraska. We'll have a couple more of these reaction videos here in the next couple of days and weeks as transfer portal commitments come in and out. Stay tuned in to InsideNebraska.com, the Inside Nebraska YouTube channel. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and we'll be back very soon.